Hi guys. Hi guys. Before we get started with this video, I need to preface it by saying I don't recommend that anyone trips on anything, especially if you have a mental disorder such as borderline personality disorder or BPD, which actually my 15-year-old daughter has been diagnosed to have symptoms of. I'm making this video to stand as a warning so that you guys out there who might be curious about tripping, who might have even depression or something like that, well, so that you guys can see the bad side of things, how tripping might be completely different than you're imagining it to be, because that's kind of exactly what happened to my poor friend Ashley in this story. This is nothing like I expected. Who, yes, happened to be a fan of the channel. Now, this story takes place back in 2016, and I think I met her via Facebook. I haven't shared this story before, partially because of just embarrassment. Yeah. What you laughing at, girl? Huh? Yeah, no, scratch that. Pretty much fully just because of embarrassment. I don't want people to think that I was just, meeting up with all these chicks who were messaging me on Facebook and tripping with them. Anyway, without further ado, let's get right into this story. This actually took place the first time I had met her, which of course is also embarrassing because you'd think that I would know not to trip with strangers, but she wasn't really a stranger because we had talked for close to a year prior to this experience, and there was actually quite a lot of buildup up until this point. I had always talked to Ashley about psychedelics, and she was very curious about trying them. She had done MDMA, cannabis, and alcohol, but she had never tried a genuine trippy substance. So she had a lot of false expectations built up in her mind as to what it was going to be like, and she always would talk about how she wished her first time trying it was with me. I was like, hey, me and my girlfriend and some friends are renting a cottage. We're probably gonna have a trip. If you wanted to try something like acid for the first time, then you're welcome to join us. And I just kind of, tossed it out there, not thinking she would bite, but she actually said yes. Got on a train, and I picked her up, and we drove out to the cottage. Of course, it was a little awkward, but she got along with everyone. Things were going well. Interesting to note, it was also my brother and my brother's girlfriend's first time trying a psychedelic, and it wasn't acid that we were taking. It was the fabled orange sunshine acid, ALD52. It's basically presented as a pro-drug. I do have to say that comparatively, at a dose per dose ratio, ALD52 was more potent, and I believe other people have stated that as well. So I remember we were all sitting at the table. We all took actually a very small dose. Each of us was only taking anywhere from 50 to 60 micrograms, and my girlfriend was the trip sitter. She was not tripping. Now, Ashley and I did something really stupid. We consumed kratom. I thought that it would help to ease some of our anxiety. I was very wrong. No one else took kratom, and they all had a great come up. I just remember as the acid started to kick in, it felt more nauseating than normal. So basically we were all in the house, and I was just kind of pacing around because I'm getting this awful stomach ache. And everyone else is, they're having a great come up, except for Anthony, who said he felt nothing. And they all decided they were gonna go out and start a fire. And Jasmine was like, I'm just fucking going to bed. And I'm basically in this cottage rental with Ashley. We're just, alone in there, and she's just looking more and more anxious by the second. I should also note that English wasn't her first language. She kept saying, oh, this doesn't feel anything like I thought it would. And I was trying to reassure her. I was like, look, this is just the come up. The come up can give you anxiety, but once this passes, you're gonna ease into the experience, and it can feel a lot better. This is when I started to get a little frustrated with her, because she started to say stuff instantly, within 40 minutes of it coming on, oh, I don't like this. I want this to stop. Can I just make this stop? And now we did have trip killers, but at this point I was weary about mixing the trip killer with the kratom. I am in no space to try to calm her down. So, as a theme with most of these stories, you will know that if my girlfriend's sleeping and I needed her help, fat fucking chance. So I go back out there, and I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe everyone else can help us. But in the same regard, there was some pretty steep steps leading down to the fire pit. We were actually up on a hill. So I just tried to sit it out, and I tried to distract her by putting some music on. And of course, I'm not really feeling any anxiety at this point about myself because I'm just full on in helping her mode. So I'm just trying to wait for everyone else to come up, because I'm thinking when they come back from the fire pit, hopefully one of them can help me to just calm her down and get her in a better mindset. Because again, I'm thinking in the back of my head, it's my brother and his girlfriend's first time trying acid, and I had been wanting to introduce him to this space for so long. I didn't want it to turn out sour for them, which is why I suggested we all take half a tab, because that's a great way to get your feet wet. Thankfully, eventually they come back up. And now, my brother and his girlfriend look like they're tripping hard. They're just super giggly, like smiling, and my brother's like looking around like, oh, this is so cool. You guys have actually seen my brother in some videos. He's like, oh, Adam, like, I'm starting to understand now. I get why you've been saying I gotta try this. Like, this is really neat and warm. And I'm just like, oh, it warms my crooked, evil heart to see you having at least a pleasant time. And his girlfriend was having a blast too. They're holding hands, giggly, and I'm just thinking, okay, this is what half a tab of some clean Sid should do. Not Miss Ashley. I want to call her Miss BPD, but that would be an insult to people who have borderline personality disorder. Again, my own daughter has it, and man, I don't think I realized before this experience just how much that could impact someone during a psychedelic trip. So this was a huge learning curve for me. And so they come back up, and luckily my friend Anthony was feeling nothing, so he could take the space as the trip sitter. Unfortunately, he had no fucking idea how to trip sit, and he couldn't stand Ashley, so this is still a mess. It became quite apparent when they came back upstairs that my brother and his girlfriend were out of commission. They're in their own little world, having a blast. My brother couldn't even see that Ashley's having a hard time, and he probably couldn't even give a shit, to be honest. And Anthony's disappointed that he feels nothing, and then we got Jasmine asleep, useless, in a case of emergency, as per usual. So actually, much to my surprise, through the shroud of darkness emerges my girlfriend to the rescue, right when I was feeling like I couldn't take it and I didn't know what the fuck to do to help her, because she's still deer in the headlights going, Adam, I need this to stop. Adam, help me stop this. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then boom, Jasmine appears through the hallway. She couldn't sleep because we were being loud. And she has the bright idea to bring out some paints. So we pulled out the finger paints, and that was the best idea ever. As soon as Ashley started painting, and she was quite the artist, her paintings were phenomenal, and she's just having a blast now. She stopped complaining, she calmed down, she's smiling, and I'm just like, okay, thank God. All right, she's still not really communicating much, maybe because of the language barrier, but I'm thinking, at least now she's painting, and it looks like she's calming down, so I'm thinking this is gonna potentially, you know, put her trip in a good direction. Maybe she'll be fine now. Oh boy, was I ever fucking wrong. As soon as we were done painting, which was fantastic, she started to tailspin out again. And at this point, my brother and his girlfriend were watching Indiana Jones on the old CRT boob tube TV. And I suggested, I was like, hey, why don't you go try watching that with her? Because I'm thinking, okay, I just need a fucking break. Like, let me try to at least get some bearings here and see if I am even tripping, because I just want to know where the fuck I'm at, because I've just been so preoccupied taking care of you. So she sits down, and again, she's completely enamored with the TV. She's giggling, she's having fun, and I'm like, how does this person go from, I can't stand this, save me, get me out of this, to giggling and fun? Just how she flip-flopping so fucking quickly. So I leave them to the TV. I chat with Anthony, and I'm like, dude, I can't take this. She's telling me that she needs me to save her, that she needs help, and I'm just trying to distract her from her thoughts. But every time she gets distracted for a bit, she just jumps back into needing help. Like, what if this gets worse? I'm thinking, what if she starts saying she needs to go to the hospital, and we're like at least 2 hours away from any hospital? Yeah, well, why'd you bring her, man? Great fucking advice, man, thanks. Yeah, well, you shouldn't have brought someone you didn't know. Like, that was your first mistake. Yes, you are correct. I should not have brought her, but we're now in this experience together, and I could use some of your help, and you're just telling me how stupid I am. Great. I love it. So, the Indiana Jones ends. And my brother and his girlfriend, who were doing a great job of distracting her, decide that they must have some alone time in the bedroom. So Anthony goes to bed because he's not feeling anything, and we got a long drive in the morning. This is the last day at the cottage. Jasmine had already gone to bed around when the movie started, and again, it's just me and Ashley. To be honest, I think I was a trigger for her anxiety, because as soon as she got around me, it was like things just started to cascade down. To summarize, I spent the next 2 to 4 hours just moving her around. I took her out to the dock, brought her back, tried to get her to look at the stars, and I was like, look at these stars, don't they look so cool right now? Like they're holographic and shooting out at you, like you can't even tell what is shooting stars and what's not, because they're all doing some flash by motion, and she's just like, yeah, I guess, yeah. Nothing I'm doing is working. Before my brother went in the room, actually, I tried to play some music that I thought was great, some Spangle. Don't play Spangle for people who aren't into Spangle, because it actually started to freak them out. Oh, Adam, what is this creepy shit? I'm at my wit's end, because she's increasingly getting more and more paranoid at this point. I start to really consider the trip killer, because now she's saying, not that she's just, she's scared and she needs help. It transitions into, I need to go to the hospital. My fucking worst fears were coming to fruition. Ugh. You need to go to the hospital. I need to go to the hospital. I don't know what to do. I have no hair. Call the ambulance. I've lost my hair. Oh, where could it be? Listen, Ashley. There's no hospitals within a 2 to 3 hour drive from here. In order for me to take you to the hospital, I would have to drive a vehicle. You can't really call a taxi out here. We're in the middle of fucking buttfuck nowhere. And I'm not driving. There's no way I'm driving. And keep in mind I'm saying this in a calm, nice way. I'm not saying it as repulsed as I am to you guys right here who live inside this little camera. What a pretty camera you are. You are a nice camera. Thank you for listening to my rambles. I do appreciate you, camera. And you guys, you beautiful humans out there who appear to like my weirdness. Anyway, I'm trying to explain to her that we can't do the hospital, but good luck explaining anything to someone when they're in their first trip, let alone their first bad trip. A whole 2 more hours went by of her just pestering me to go to the hospital and me trying to calm her down, just saying stuff like, look, this is gonna pass, How you're feeling right now, I know it sucks, I've been there, but I've got you. I'm here with you. I'm not gonna leave you. You're gonna be okay. We're gonna make it through this. Tomorrow, we're gonna laugh about it. It's fine. So what? Tripping's not what you expected. Whatever, there's worse things in life. Who cares? Maybe it's just not for you right now. And she's like, no. You need to take me to the hospital right now. I need to go to the hospital. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I tried my best not to disturb Queen Jasmine, but at this point, it's actually starting to become the morning. The sun is coming up. And I've been totally sober since the come up. I had a weird come up, and then it was I swallowed the trip and farted out my ass, and then nothing happened. So I go and I wake up Jasmine. I was like, listen, I have tried everything. I can't calm her down. She's demanding I take her to the hospital right now. You and I both know that's not going to happen. So I need her to take this little blue diazepam because I am at my wit's end. I was concerned about it mixing with the kratom before, but you know what? It's probably just my paranoia. It'll probably be fine. But now, get this. Now when I'm saying you should take this trip killer, she's saying she doesn't want it. She's saying that she's afraid of the trip killer. Oh my God. I'm like, listen. If you went to the hospital, this is what they'd give you. They'd give you lorazepam or diazepam or an antipsychotic. This is exactly the compound they would give you to calm you down. So Jasmine talks to her. We finally get her to take it. She says she's feeling better. I'm like, okay, thank God. I'm like, so you don't need to go to the hospital? She's like, no, I guess not. Should have just given it to her earlier. Fucking stupid me. But now she won't let me sleep. And I'm just I get it. She didn't want to be alone. What ended up happening was I brought her into the room with Jasmine and I, and she slept in the bed with us. Interesting enough, the next day, I had a very terrible acid come down. One of those come downs where it feels like all the joy is sucked out of the world and there's nothing left to look forward to in life and you might as well just fucking kill yourself because you hate everything. I was miserable. And I could see that she was having the same experience because we went to drive home and it was the worst 4 or 5 hours. Actually, I can't say it was the worst of my life because I've had some really bad 4 to 5 hours, guys. But it was pretty bad. The entire drive, she was crying, just bawling. And I felt so terrible because I couldn't help but feel responsible in some way for the experience. Yes, she made all her own decisions and she came out there and she decided to trip even when I advised her that she probably shouldn't. But I still felt guilty because she was with me and we had these plans in motion for so long and it was supposed to, guys. Fuck those supposed tos. Leave those supposed tos at home. It was supposed to be such a joyous experience and it turned out being such fucking hell and I just felt so terrible that I let her down. I don't like letting people down. I feel like I let you guys down who watch my videos because reasons out of my control because I have a kid now and I can't make content for the time being as much as I want to and I've got these big projects I'm working on that feel like they're never gonna get done and I'm just letting you all down. But you know what? Let it go, Adam. Just don't let people down. Just let go instead. So I let her down, and like, it's not like we even had time to hang out. I had to drive her to the train. So we drive her to the train. She's still crying. It's okay. No, I'll be fine. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. And I'm just like, oh, how could I do this to you? I'm just gonna leave you like this. And you know, Jasmine's like, Adam, let's fucking go. Let's fucking leave. Ah! Okay. I'm being summoned. Leaving the poor Ashley to her tears. Now, I had talked to her, I was gonna make this video over a year ago, and she had given me in her own words what she experienced, which I thought was an interesting addition to, like, you know, things from my perspective. And I can't remember what she said, so just give me 1 second while I get my computer to read you, in her own words, why the trip ended up being so terrible, or just what she experienced, because all I'm basically saying is she said she needed help. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. All right, here we go. Months later, I asked her if she could summarize her experience, and she said that part of having BPD is overthinking everything, overthinking her emotions, or even overanalyzing the way people acted around her, and while tripping, her thinking felt weird because she's used to knowing what her thoughts are, but while tripping, she could no longer understand her thoughts, which made her panic. I don't know if that's necessarily just a BPD thing. I mean, for anybody, if you're tripping, you don't recognize your thoughts, you're probably gonna feel a little panicky. I mean, maybe not everybody, but some people. Well, let's continue. She said that people with BPD have a very difficult time letting go of thoughts due to a huge fear of abandonment. She also said that when her trip sitter started talking about spirituality, trip sitter being Jasmine, oh, good job, Jasmine, which was around the same time that she took the benzo, that she could really relate to the conversation, and it also helped calm her down. Okay, so she related to Jasmine talking to her about spirituality at the end of the trip, but I guess that means she couldn't relate to fuck all that I was saying during the trip, because nothing I did calmed her down. Whew. She also said that tripping was absolutely nothing like she imagined it to be, and she also said that she will never take LSD or any psychedelic for that matter again for the rest of her life, which I think is a little overkill. Like, I was saying to her, well, you were so curious about doing it, maybe try it again when you're in a better headspace, but no, she seems pretty confident that she'll never touch them again. So there we go, her one and only trip ended up terrible. She had a fucking awful time, cried the whole time, I felt like an asshole, and there's my story of tripping with a fan. If you guys enjoyed the story, make sure you leave it a big thumbs up. And also, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more psychedelic and just substance-related content. If you do enjoy these videos, be sure you check out our Patreon page, where I'm a terrible content host on Patreon because you practically get no perks. There was a while when I was posting like behind-the-scene content, meaning like I think for a month. So not a while, like a very short period of time, and I did like 2. And I have been planning to be more active for all you beautiful patrons who I love. You guys keep the channel alive, but I live with 3 kids. I don't know if you guys know this. I've got a 15-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son, and we've got a newborn. And right now, everybody in my family is going through their own shit, and they all need me. Meaning it's very difficult for me to even find time to work, and of course I have to financially support the whole family. What a dilemma I'm in. So I appreciate you guys on Patreon, because you're putting food on the table for my family, so thank you guys. I really wish I could be more active on all these platforms, or at least as active as you would like, but you just gotta understand, people are in serious trouble in my life and they need me, and there's only so much of me to go around. I wish I could fucking duplicate myself. That would help a buttload here, but I can't, so I do intend to be more active as soon as I can. It's just, I'm playing it day to day right now. That's why I can't make any promises anymore about content, because it's like, I don't even know. Anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys all in the next one. What you laughing at, girl? Huh? You want a piece of this?
Place your head on backwards.
What
Put the bandana on.
What you talking about?
Oh my god.
Whoa.